Hello everyone, welcome to my civil engineering YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and hit the bell icon to get notified when I post my new videos. Today I'll be discussing regarding analysis of assumptions for analysis of arches, expression for radius of curvature on a circular arch, expression for rise of an arch in case of parabolic arch. So coming on to the first concept of this lecture series, that is assumptions for analysis of arch. So whenever an arch is subjected to an external loading, then in order to resist the effect of an external loading on that of the arch, we are going to determine what is the amount of resistance which is offered by the arch structure on the exposed load. So that is nothing but the analysis of arch. So for that analysis of the arch, we are going to have some important assumptions. So first and foremost, paramount important assumption is that the lateral dimension of the arch compared to that of the linear dimension is very small. So it can also be stated as the cross section of the arch is assumed to be very small compared to that of the length of the arch. So next important assumption is that the self weight of the arch is always neglected. So, in order to analyze the effect of the arch due to the exposed load, the self weight of the arch is always considered to be negligible. So, the third important assumption is that the material of the arch is always isotropic homogeneous and will be having a constant modulus of elasticity throughout. So what is the isotropy and homogeneity means? It is nothing but the same properties in all the directions. So which is having a constant modulus of elasticity is nothing but, so the throughout the length of the arch the material remains same. So whenever the material remains same, it will be having the modulus of elasticity, or the Young's modulus will be constant. So never ever the arch material will be having the composite materials. So composite materials is nothing but the material which is composed of the combination of two or more materials. So it will not be having the composite materials in case of the arches. So the third important assumption is that the arches will be having the constant modulus of elasticity. Whenever it will be having the constant modulus of elasticity, it is self understood that it will be having the it will be made of the single material. So never ever you will be having the composite material. So if it is in the composite material, then the modulus of elasticity for each material will be different. So the next important assumption is that the neutral axis in case of arches will not be subjected to any change. Neutral axis, we have studied the simple bending theory. So simple bending theory states that the topmost layer of the any of the structure will be subjected to compression, and the bottommost layer will be subjected to tension, and the neutral axis between the top and bottommost layer, which is the neutral axis, will never ever be subjected to tension or compression. Therefore the simple bending theory also holds good for the arch analysis here. So which states that the neutral axis will neither undergo any stresses, that is neither tension nor compression, and also the change of length, it will never ever undergo the change in length also. So the neutral axis will never ever undergo the change in stresses nor change in length. So the next important assumption is that the deflection in case of arches are considered to be very small compared to that of its length. So if I just want to consider a larger span, that is around more than 10 kilometers of the stretch. So if I want if I have options of taking up as a beam for a structure or an arch, so I just go by with the arch. So why I have detailed in my previous lecture series, as in case of larger span, the option of taking up of the an arch is very economical. Why? Because compared to that of the beam, as in case of larger dimension, the arches will be having the smaller deflections for on par with that of the length. So compared to that of the beam, arches will be having very small deflections compared to the length of the arches. Therefore, as in case of larger span, arches are very economical and stable than that of the beams. So the next important assumption is that, I have briefed regarding the classification of arches based on the support conditions, that is 2 hinge, 3 hinge and fixed arches. So one more important classification of the arches is nothing but based on its shape. So there are two types of arches based on its shape. So it is circular arch, and second one is a parabolic arch. So as in case of the circular arches, so if it is subjected to the deflection, the deflected shape as in case of circular arch will be in the form of arc of circle, and the radius of the curvature will be large compared to that of its other dimensions. So these are very important assumptions for analysis of the arches. So the next concept is that expression for radius of curvature as in case of circular arch. So I just consider the sketch here. So that is the circular arch here. So wherein A and B represents the two supports of the arch, and L represents the span of the arch, small r represents rise of the arch, and O here represents the center point of the arch or origin of the arch. And I just consider the another point P here on the arch rib. So wherein the distance between O from P is nothing but the radius of curvature of the arch itself. So if I want to project that, so the x and y will be the intercepts. So that is x and y will be the coordinates or the intercepts from the point P. So these are the detailed view of the diagram of a circular arch. So if I want to derive an expression for the radius of curvature of a circular arch, I just consider the triangle OEP. Before that, I just project the O point towards the left position, I mean the towards the left support, that is towards the point A, wherein R will be same the radius of curvature of the arch itself, so that it forms another triangle ODA, wherein alpha is the point, alpha is the angle for the triangle OAD, and theta will be the angle for the triangle OEP. So if I just consider the triangle OEP here, so the right angle triangle, so I just apply the Pythagoras theorem here. OP square is equal to OE square plus PE square. So OP is nothing but the radius of arc, the radius of curvature R, capital R. So OE can be taken as OC minus EC. OE can be taken as OC minus EC from the diagram, by referring to the diagram. And PE is nothing but the horizontal coordinate of a point P here. So that is nothing but EX. So therefore R square will be equal to OC minus EC the whole square plus X square. So again, OC is nothing but the radius of curvature R itself, capital R, and EC can be derived as can also be told as EC can also be told as OC minus OE, wherein OC is nothing but EC can be derived as OC minus OE, wherein OC is nothing but the raise of an arch, that is small r, and EC is OE is nothing but the y coordinate, the vertical coordinate of point P, that is y. Therefore R square is equal to capital R minus small r plus y the whole square plus X square. So from the figure I can just take the triangle OEP here, where x can be represented by in the form of theta as OP sine theta. OP sine theta, wherein OP is the radius of curvature, therefore x will be equal to r sine theta. Similarly, y is the vertical coordinate of the point O, so it can be represented as OE minus OD. OE minus OD, it can be represented as OE minus OD. Therefore, y is equal to r cos theta. OE will be r cos theta. OD can be represented in the form of alpha as r cos alpha. We know that the segment of the circle can be derived as 2r minus r into r will be equal to L square by 4. 2r minus r, 2r. So here 2r is nothing but OC here. That is the r plus r. 2r is the diameter. So 2r minus r, the diameter minus the riser into the rise is equal to L square by 4 is equal to L square by 4. So L by 2 into L by 2, it will be equal to L square by 4. So that will be the segment of the circle, the general formula for the segment of a circle. Therefore, if I just take it into consideration, so 2r will be equal to L square by 4 plus r. Therefore, r will be equal to L square by 8r plus small r by 2. This is the expression for radius of the curvature in case of circular arch. Coming on to the third concept of this lecture series, that is the expression for rise of an arch in case of parabolic arch. I just consider a parabolic arch here, the neat sketch of a parabolic arch here. So AB represents the supports, the two supports here, and L is the span of the arch. CD is the raise, that is it is equal to R, that is a raise of the arch. And I just consider the point P in the arch rib here, which is at the distance of X from the point A, that is support A, and Y from the span line, that is y from the point P. So here I just consider the general equation of the parabola. Mathematical expression of a parabola will be equal to y is equal to kx into L minus x, where k is the constant of parabola. So here if I want to find out the value of k, so the y will be if I want to consider if I want to find out the value of k value, so it will be maximum. The parabolic equation will be the riser will be maximum at the point C. So at that point I need to consider the value of r in order to find out the value of k, that is a constant. So at point C, the value of y will be equal to, the maximum value of y will be at the point C itself. Therefore, I have considered the point C in order to consider in order to calculate the value of k. So therefore, y is equal to r at C, and x will be exactly equal to L by 2. Therefore, if I substitute the value of x as L by 2 and y as r, at the general equation, y is equal to kx into L minus x. So k will be equal to 4r divided by L square. If I just simplify this, so it will be equal to 4r divided by L square. So if I just substitute the value of k again in the general expression here, so it will be y is equal to 4rx into L minus x divided by L square. This is the general expression. By considering the value of r in case of C in order to calculate the value of k. So by taking the reference of r at C, we can just find out what is the value of y at different points, at different levels of the arch rib. So this is the theme behind it. So again, I have also considered the theta here. You can just see here, theta here. If I just project the tangent to through the arch rib from the point P, it forms a angle that is theta. So if I want to calculate the slope of the angle theta, so it will be nothing but the tan theta itself. I can just find out by using this expression y is equal to 4rx into L minus x by L square. If I just differentiate that expression with reference to Ex, then it will be dy by dx, that is equal to 4r into L minus 2x divided by L square. That will be the value of tan theta. Dy by dx is nothing but the tan theta value. So theta will be tan inverse of 4r into L minus 2x divided by L square. So from this I can just find out how will be the value of what will be the value of y at different levels of the points located in the arch rib, and also what is the value of the slope wherein the at different points located on the arch rib. Thank you.